Guys, reselling completely changed my life, and I don't think you fully understand how reselling can change your life, and not just your life, but the people around you. You see, in the past year of me doing reselling, I've managed to generate over $250,000 in sales. And in the past 2 months of 2025, I've been able to generate $80,000 in sales. And I did this by following 4 simple principles that we're going to talk about in this video. But you see, my life wasn't always like this. A few years ago, I was dead broke, I was financially bankrupt, and I lived poorly. I was too embarrassed to tell anyone. But now, at the time of this recording, I've been able to do 6 figures in my first year of business. I've managed to put away $30,000 into a retirement account, as well as sit on $80,000 in crypto. It's crazy to think that my life was completely different just a few years ago. And in this video, I'm going to go over the 4 simple principles that has helped me to change my life around. Because back in 2016, my life was absolute shit. I lived in Section 8 housing, and I was too embarrassed to tell anybody. Nobody knew I had problems. I was just a regular kid in high school, and one day I woke up and realized the only way out was if I did something about it. I started with $0 to my name. I understood that nobody was going to come and save me, and $1 million wasn't just going to fall into my lap. So I knew I had to do something about it. That's when I first started reselling. I literally borrowed my mom's credit card, with her permission, of course, and I bought as many Supreme and Yeezys as I could. You see in this picture, I'm posting in New York City buying and selling and just trying to sell everything that I bought. I was still in high school, but reselling helped me learn commerce at a young age. I understood supply and demand, negotiation, sales, and more. I bought and sold any prospects. You see in this picture, I was literally selling jewel pods because they were profitable. And I was seriously hustling for my money. I was doing meetups, making listings, and hauling ass after school all over the city just to make a sale so I could pay my mom back. Thanks to my mom, she believed in me and I got a taste of the money. I went all in on reselling for the rest of high school. And here's a picture of me flexing like $2,000 I made from selling Yeezys. At that time, $2,000 meant the world to me. I was just a little kid, and it's insane that I was able to make this amount of money without following the traditional 9-to-5 route. In 2019, I turned 18 and saved up all my money that I made from reselling, and I bought my first car for college. It's a Honda Accord 2017, and I thought I was the shit. I thought I was on the top of the world and that I made it. I bought my first car at 18 years old, and boy was I wrong. In college, I stopped reselling and I turned to online gambling because there was no other way for me to make money up in upstate New York. I lost most of my savings in the stock market. For the years of 2021 and 2022, I followed the traditional route and I focused on school. I did what everyone told me to do, and that's to study hard, get a degree, and get a 9-to-5. In 2023, I finished university, I moved out in New York City, and I got my first real 9-to-5. I was a quality engineer working at a tech job in Midtown Manhattan, and most people would say that I made it. Most people in this position would turn on autopilot, get comfortable, and just lock in on this job for the rest of their life. But not for me. I did not enjoy a second of this job, and I knew I had to do something to change my life. So in 2024, this was a start of a transformation. I read a lot of books in my free time. This is literally free game. These are words from millionaires and billionaires and is straight from the source. If you don't know who Phil Knight is, he's the CEO of Nike. He created Nike and he documented his entire process in the book Shoe Dog. So I highly recommend this book if you haven't read it already. And I watched 100+ hours of content. I learned from Alex Hormozy and his free game on his YouTube channel. I've learned and listened from Naval a billion-dollar entrepreneur in America. In college, I've spent years and thousands of dollars learning about technology and zero in business. So in my free time, I spent $6,000 from my paycheck on my first course to learn more about business. This was to teach me about making content, doing sales, and doing copy work. I started reselling in my 5 to 9 after my 9 to 5, and this is where most people fail. Like Alex Hormozy said, your 5 to 9 is the most important time. He said your 9 to 5 isn't holding you back. It's what you do in your 5 to 9 that is. Most people go and watch Netflix, watch movies, do drugs, and have a day off when they can really lock in and invest in their own future. I started to see results. You see these screenshots were back in 2023 and I was making sales. So I finally decided to quit my 9 to 5 and go all in. In this screenshot, you can see I'm getting paid thousands of dollars every single day. January 27th, January 28th, January 29th. At this point, I was making more money than my 9 to 5 and I realized that I didn't need it anymore. So then I finally began to enjoy life. I flew to Japan and spent 2 to 3 weeks exploring Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto. I was enjoying all the beautiful sceneries and eating lavish food that I wasn't able to enjoy back in America. I don't have a fancy car to show you. I don't have a Rolex watch to show you. I believe in buying experiences instead of materialistic things. Those materialistic things can come later, but while I'm able to get out of bed easily, I don't have aching pain, and I'm young and free, I personally want to go see the world before I settle down and buy some materialistic things. So my perspective on enjoying life is being able to travel and see the world for what it is. Now we're in 2025. I'm building my own community on YouTube. I'm teaching, learning, and connecting entrepreneurs all over the United States in my school community called Consign. And I also booked a flight to Thailand in May for $80. In 82 days, I will be in Bangkok. And I was able to accomplish all of this from reselling. I know my journey was short and I've only been reselling for a year, but do you see how your life can really change in a few months or just a year if you really locked in and focused on your goals? And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you. The 4 simple principles that changed my life completely in 3 months. The first principle is to invest in yourself. You are the one thing that you cannot sell. You are going to be you forever. Your knowledge and your mindset yields returns tenfold. So make sure you invest in your education. Buy courses. You can always earn your money back. Invest in a mentor that has done the things you want to achieve. A really beautiful quote is that when you're setting out for a journey, never seek advice from those who have never left home. Secondly is to invest in your goals. What you focus on grows. So invest your time and energy only into the things that matter to you. Think about the person you want to become. Now become that person. This is an activity I highly recommend for anyone to do that hasn't done it yet, and really sit down with yourself and journal about the best version that you want to be. So think about that person you want to become. And the person I want to become is to be in the best shape of my life, have a beautiful family, be financially free, and learn more about spirituality. Some of you may have seen my desktop wallpaper, and it's basically the embodiment of the person I want to become. In the top left, I have a really fit Asian dude. And that's who I inspire to be. I want to be in the best shape of my life. In the bottom left, I have a beautiful quote from Naval. He says to learn to sell and learn to build. If you can do both, you will become unstoppable. In the top right, I have a picture of a family because eventually the person that I want to become has a beautiful family. And finally, in the bottom right, I want to connect with the universe more, learn more about life, and really understand the world for what it is. And we're going to go more into detail about that. It's easy to think about the person you want to be, but it's hard to actually put in the action items to become that person. You have to really dial in the inputs that you have to take in order to get the outputs that you want to have. So my inputs is to eat healthy and go to the gym every day. Have a beautiful family. That's to invest in my girlfriend. I want to spend quality time with her, give her gifts, and etc. Make sure you play long-term games with long-term people. That's what Naval said, and we're going to get more into that later. Third is to be financially free. For me, my action items is to focus on e-com and building my community. And lastly is spirituality. I want to understand things for what they are and learn more about the world and life itself. So my action items is to travel more and see the world. I highly recommend you do this for yourself. The reason why I included my own goals and action items is to inspire you and give you an example of what it should look like. Now, lastly is to cut out everything that doesn't align with the person you want to become. This is the hardest part for most people because you're telling them to quit their addictions and cut out their vices. This is why this step is so important because nothing good in life comes easy. For example, I stopped vaping and I stopped playing video games. These were habits that has stuck with me for years and it was so hard to quit. But I'm so glad I quit because it helps me take a step towards the life I want and become the person I strive to be. Now, the second principle is to concentrate your forces. This is an idea I took from the book, The 48 Laws of Power, and my own understanding of it is to find your edge and triple down on it. All business model works. Don't get shiny object syndrome. Don't go online and see someone post their P&L from trading crypto and be like, all right, I'm going to give up everything I'm doing now and go trade crypto. Don't go online and see people make millions of dollars drop shipping and be like, all right, I'm going to stop everything I'm doing and do this instead. The grass is not greener on the other side. All business model works. I've tried drop shipping. I've done clothing brands. I've done Turo, etc. When my edge has always been reselling. And the reason why I included this as a principle is a reminder to myself to never get distracted. I've wasted a lot of time and money on different business models when I could have invested in the one thing that has worked for me. The next principle I want to talk about is play long-term games with long-term people. This is another idea from Naval, and he says that all returns in life comes from compound interest in long-term games. So what I got from this idea is to pick a business model that continues to grow. For me, I've picked reselling sneakers. Everyone has 2 feet and everyone wants and needs shoes. This market will never disappear. And as more people are born, that's more people that will want sneakers. This idea applies to other aspects in life. Remember earlier I talked about investing in my girlfriend because I want a beautiful family in the future. You want to play long-term games with long-term people. Now, finally, the last principle I want to talk about is to surround yourself with people who has the same vision and mentality as you. Change your environment and change your life. Back in college, I was doing what everyone else was doing, partying, drugs, and alcohol. That was my environment. After I moved out in New York City, I surrounded myself with entrepreneurs and locked in. If it wasn't for their inspiration, I might not be here right now talking to you. And that's why I started building a community for resellers and entrepreneurs alike. I want to bring like-minded people together. There's a quote that goes, "Don't chase butterflies, build a garden and attract them." So the last point on that topic is to expand your network. If you wait for other people to go with you, you'll never go. Go alone and the right people will find you. You haven't met all the important people in your life yet, so keep going. Never settle, stay hungry, make sure you're always learning, make sure you're always looking for opportunities, meet new people, and be the person you always want to become. On that note, I want to talk about the community that I've been building on School. In my free community, we have people working together to learn how to resell and do e-commerce. And in my paid community, there's something I really want to share with you, a testimonial from Andrew. He joined our paid community 2 weeks ago and he started cashing in. He got his first sale in 2 weeks. Andrew was a early founding member because I've only launched this community last week and we already have people joining and seeing success. I'll leave the links to both communities in the description below and you can take a look for yourself. Decide if it's a right fit for you. And if you're not sure, you can always book a call with me through this link in the community description. If you're looking for a group of people that won't call you out for trying, that will support you, I'm personally inviting you to join our community. Click the link in the description below and I'll see you inside our community. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.